paradise won't change your mind. Can't shape the lights. I'll take the chance and roll the dice.
She died? And that was actually really kind of sad, Shannon.
Oh. Well, it'll be about the same for everyone else because I'm not helping you and my parents can't reach me on my phone, so really the status quo remains about the same.
Oh. I don't even know where to start with that. Like,
I can't. We have dug into this hole. We cannot get out of it.
I don't know. We have a pilot here. Maybe we can fly out.
You shouldn't.
Pilot's dead again. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, pilot's. I guess she's a helicopter pilot. She's fine.
Is she a helicopter pilot? We don't actually. I don't think we've ever actually seen what she flies.
I mean, we met her on the helicopter pad, right?
True, but that could just might be them doing some sort of shorthand for what she actually flies.
What you should have learned from the documentary Rescuers Down Under.
Yes, I had completely forgotten about that classic documentary, Rescuers Down Under.
Is the runway needs to be long enough for the plane, and a helicopter pad is pretty famously not long enough for an airplane. Or probably an albatross.
He'll be fine. Albatross Air has never had a problem like that before. I don't know what you're talking about.
I haven't seen that movie in 30 years.
Impressive.
Crash and burn.
I'm telling you, it'll be fine. Because Albatross Air has never missed a flight.
Welcome to Itchy and Scratchy Land, where nothing could possibly go wrong.
I mean, possibly.
That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. That was also a helicopter flight where that happened.
Oh. It's almost worse.
Oh my god, I just realized that's a spoof of the opening to Jurassic Park.
You're just now realizing this?
Ah, god, look, that came out when I was also 10, right? I don't have to know these things. That was in 1992? I was less than 10.
Crash and burn.
Ooh, ouch.
I really need them to stop instantly killing the pilot every time I revive her. That would be nice.
Maybe she just let her sleep.
No, I'm just gonna continually shove dirty chais down her throat.
That actually sounds pretty fantastic. I'll take one of those.
A dirty chai.
Yeah.
I'll cook you too.
Yeah, my brain was like, huh, you don't take a helicopter to Walt Disney World.
And then that's what actually made you go, wait.
Wait a minute. I learned something about formative media net today.
I'm very proud of you.
And as a result, all three of those things, Walt Disney World, Jurassic Park, and The Simpsons, are all bad now.
Aww.
How'd that feel?
Did you watch that 4-hour-long YouTube video about the Star Wars hotel?
No, I've read about it, but I have not.
I'm not sure it had to be 4 hours, but as somebody who obviously watches way too much YouTube, who am I to complain?
All right, here we go.
I don't know, who are you to complain? You should complain more.
Yeah, monetize it.
Monetize your complaints.
Yeah, it was funny to me. And I'm very impressed that, like, she stuck with it. I think my turn-off point would have been the $5,000 spent. I wouldn't have gotten that far, but she really pushed through the entire weekend.
I'll cook you to a crisp.
it's so much money that you had to spend for that experience that they gave you basically nothing for.
Well, what's kind of funny is it wasn't a hotel. There is an experience that, in terms of actual, I don't know what you would call it, like, in terms of what you have as the customer, it is set up in a very similar way. So it's not completely immersive, but I would argue that this thing wasn't either. And the veneer on it is paper thin, and you have to meet it more than halfway. There's something like that here that costs considerably less, and you don't have to worry about spending 40 cents a minute or whatever. And you can stay as long as you like, as long as the building is open. But it's this thing where the conceit is 3 parallel universes are colliding within the confines of the building.
Okay. That sounds pretty cool, honestly.
And the way it actually plays out is it gives you a backstory for each of these universes. So there's like a futuristic downtown, I would guess more like London because there's a double-decker bus in there, that's colliding with an ice planet that's colliding with a forest moon that's not Endor.
It's not Endor. They very specifically said it's not Endor.
Yeah, Endor costs more than just generic forest moon.
It's the indoor outdoor part of the exhibit.
And they've gone to the trouble of making very elaborate fiberglass sets for all of these. The ice palace is really cool. It's you know, just pieces of acrylic plastic that they've put LEDs on. But, you know, they did a good job. It looks cool.
Okay.
And so there are 3 main areas that are given their own little backstories, and you are given a job as a person coming through. You're supposed to figure out why these collisions happened, and you're chasing a villain who's responsible with the aid of some NPCs that appear in the form of basically screen terminals. And you are given a card with an RFID chip in it that you hold up to the terminal. And it will give you story beats based on that. And you can play it in any order you want. And I'm under the impression, having done this once, that you can't really do it in one session. Like, I think you could if you're really dedicated, but there's a lot of sort of... There's the obvious screen terminals, but they also hide clues in certain places, and you have to... They're like hidden Mickeys, right? You have to recognize the symbol and give them a try.
That sounds like a really fun experience. Where is this? Or...
It is called... I have to make sure I get this right because I'm going to get it mixed up with a Doctor Who phrase. Meow Wolf. So meow is in the sound that a cat makes, and the word wolf.
That's
so
weird, but okay.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing. But I would argue that they have definitely put more effort into this than the Star Wars Hotel put into theirs.
Aww.
So yeah, you're doing a little scavenger hunt, and if you collect enough things, sometimes the terminals will play you story beats that show you the lives of the characters that exist in this universe. And the ones that I enjoyed were the ones that are actually animated by hand. You know, they look like traditional 2D animation made for TV 20 years ago, and they're pretty well done. And they're narrated, and they're like 5 minutes long, and you're just standing there and watching all these. And you can tell that the entire experience is definitely made for families with kids, because all these clues and stuff and the terminals are at child height. So it's definitely meant as a family experience, but I do know that they have an 18 plus night where they serve alcohol, and that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing, and it sounds like you'd get into so much trouble.
Yes, I'm sure you would be supervised throughout this. But yeah, it's like this 3 or 4 story building where they have built all these massive sets. An interesting thing about it is they also, you know, they have the massive areas that you can walk through and do these scavenger hunts in. But they also have smaller areas that are like maybe the size of a bedroom apartment, like a studio, where they have invited local artists to come in and put in installations that are on theme for the universe that they are placed in. And it's a lot of contemporary work, and there was obviously some I liked more than others, but there was some really neat stuff. There were a lot of resin artists that I noticed, especially in the Forest Moon area, who were doing neat things with resin. There was one that they basically looked like aquariums, but instead of fish, they were full of old circuit boards. Oh, by the way, I have a dog now. Yes, you might have just heard.
I did just hear.
Old circuit boards and capacitors and pins and chips that had been pulled off of stuff that was constructed in the 90s made it look like fish. So there were some pretty neat things in there, and I imagine because they're local artists, they probably get rotated in and out more often than the larger exhibits do. But again, this feels like much more work than what was done for the Star Wars hotel, and it worked better. Like, I never had a problem where the chip in my card didn't work. Like, it just worked. An amazing concept.
Impressive.
What? Is stuff just working? We can't just have stuff work.
So Bethesda wasn't there.
No Bethesda?
Eh.
Well, I mean, if there's no Bethesda, what's even the point? Like, seriously.
Yeah, it was interesting. And it was probably more worth the money than $5,000 for a tiny room in the Star Wars hotel.
That you have to show up for with and participate in the way they specifically say to participate in it.
Well, if you watch the 4-hour-long video, that was actually part of the problem, is she had a way she wanted to participate in it, but for whatever reason, the app in her phone wasn't working. So it appears that her theory is that there is a track that is basically for grandma. Like, your grandma's on vacation with the family and they brought the kids, and the vacation's really for the kids, but grandma's there. And grandma doesn't care about Star Wars. So it appears that she got put into a little box where it's like, here's a person who doesn't want to play. This makes it so they're not completely locked out, but they're not forced to engage with the material. And that's not what she was going for. She wanted to be on the side of the Empire, I believe.
Oh, and she wanted to fully engage in everything?
Yeah, and every time she tried to engage with the stormtroopers and the commander that was there with them, the theory is that you have an RFID chip on you that can tell that you're close to those characters, and because the tour group is so small, it can collect data on you and the things that you're doing, and then feed that information to an earpiece in the actor's ear so that they can interact with you a little more believably rather than just having some stock phrases for you. And near as she could tell, the chips were not feeding any information about her, so when she tried to interact with the Empire characters, they treated her as if she were a rebel spy rather than someone trying to help her.
Oh no.
So, like, got the exact opposite of what she was going for.
Like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry sky.